What is your content strategy? That is probably one of the most important questions you're going to need to answer before you ever start YouTube. And I'm going to get into the details of what that's all about. If this is your first time here, my name is Briggs. I am the creator of World According to Briggs. I'm also the voice on it. We don't use any of that AI voice stuff on my channel. It's always my voice, but my channel has over 1,000 subscribers. My channel has over 1 million subscribers. I think it's 1.3 million right now, but I've been doing this about 7 years. And if, like I said, this is the first time you've been here, I just want to give you a head start and help you with things that I wish I would have known in the very beginning. Now, I'm definitely not one of those gurus, those YouTube gurus. I'm never going to try and sell you a plan or a program to blow up your channel or to teach you how to do YouTube automation or run lame AI channels or anything like that. I'm never going to sell you a course. There are some respectable strategists, YouTube strategists, I like to call them, that do sell courses that are worth it, I'm sure. I've never bought one. I figure everything I need to know about YouTube is on YouTube. That's how I started learning. Now, sure, some of these gurus might bundle that up into a, quicker thing that you could read, but you're missing something there. You're missing the learning part of it. If they tell you everything and give you a detailed strategy, you're going to miss a lot of what YouTube's all about. And I think we all learn more from mistakes than we do from success. That's just a fact of life. I mean, I was in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I got caught in a guillotine one time, which is a choke. And it was because I did something stupid. I've never been caught in a guillotine again. Practice or competition. I haven't done competition in like 15 years, but you get what I'm saying. You learn more from your mistakes. So today we're going to talk about the strategy you should start with before you even start. We've kind of touched on this in past videos, but we're going to get into a little more detail right now, okay? So before you even start your YouTube video, understand it takes effort. If you think you're going to make a video, throw it up, and you're going to get millions of views, it's not going to happen. I mean, there's a little bit of a chance, about the same as you going to sit on a stool at a soda fountain and get discovered by a Hollywood agent. It's about the same thing. You can just blow up. There was a girl a couple of years ago, I forget her name. I watched a few of her videos. She had like 4 YouTube videos up of her van life. That was it. And she had like 3 million subscribers. It helped. She was adorable and wore low-cut things, and she was ample, to put it that way. So I'm sure that played into it a little bit. I mean, she wasn't trying to thrust those on there. That was just her. That was kind of what was unique. She wasn't trying to throw those things in your face to get your attention. They were just there. But I'm sure it still played a part. As soon as you realize it's going to take some effort and you're not going to start pulling down $20,000 a month within 2 months, okay? It's not going to happen. We're talking it's going to be a year and a half before, let's say, you could pay the typical rent in a city someplace. That's if things go well. If you don't do things properly, or you take some breaks and you kind of stick with the wrong idea too long, could take you years. The first thing you want to do is figure out who you're going to talk to. And what's your audience? Who are you making videos for? Now, you could say you're making videos for everyone. That's great. Great idea. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, there's tons of older people that would, watch about 30 seconds of a Mr. Beast video and turn it off. But there's millions of kids and teenagers and young adults that'll watch him like it's a freaking religion. And that's how he's so successful. But you want to figure out who your audience is first and foremost, okay? And I'm going to tell you something about figuring out your audience. You're going to get more views if you do something that appeals to, let's say, the under 25 crowd, okay? They are more likely to binge. They're more likely to just be on YouTube more. The downside is they don't have any money. And the advertising you get on your channel is not worth what, let's say, someone that's targeting an older audience makes, right? My audience is, for the most part, over 45. So my CPM is higher because the people I make videos for have money. They're either retired or they're, well beyond working at fast food, stuff like that. They've grown a little bit and they've acquired some wealth or some income. So they have more money to spend. YouTube, Google knows this, and so do the advertisers. So you're not going to see like some gaming controller ad on my videos. What you might see is vacation spots. You might see real estate agents. You might see, I've seen this recently on one of mine, or someone told me about it, where it's about a new planned community in Idaho. That was being advertised on my channel for a couple days. These are high dollar things that will translate to money for you. Sure, the kids channel about gaming or, playing with toys or collectible Pokemon or something like that. That's going to draw a bunch of views, but they're not going to be worth that much. CPM is clicks per mil meaning 1,000, not a million. So let's say you get 1 million views on a video. Chances are my video that gets 120,000 views is going to make more money. So you kind of have to decide if you can. If you've already decided you're going to talk about, I don't know, Taylor Swift stuff or something like that, something that's geared to the under 20 crowd, you're going to get more views, but you're not going to make that much money. In the end, it kind of evens out. So you just got to figure out which one's going to, do better. Now, let's say if you take the kids channel and it's just kind of medium and doesn't get the millions of views, you're probably going to barely make enough to pay your car payment, and you're going to put in a lot of effort to it after about 2 years. So you got to kind of balance those things and figure out where you're going. Okay. So once you've decided your audience, there's a couple other things you should talk about. Are your videos going to be topical? Or are they going to be evergreen? Or are they going to be like a how-to video? Now, let me explain those two. First of all, topical means you're talking about news, you're talking about politics, and even tech to a degree. These are videos that have a shelf life. If you want to watch a video on, let's say, something Biden passed 3 years ago, okay? You'll watch it that week, but you're not going to watch it this coming week. That was 3 years ago, 3 years ago. It doesn't matter anymore. So that video, for the most part, is dead. I'm sure some people happen upon them. Even if you're a giant channel, that's not going to be paying you 6 months down the line. Now, if you're someone that makes evergreen, you're going to be getting paid 6 months down the line. Sure, diminishing returns, but you're still getting some money. So you get the news, politics. Those are very topical, and you have to be turning out the content or you're going to become irrelevant in 1 week. So it's almost daily. A lot of these political channels will put out 2 or 3 videos a day, right? And they're just talking just like I am. So it's not a lot of production. There's not a lot of production value to it. There's really just research and knowing the news and knowing what's going on. That's where their creativity comes in. Not creativity. That's where their knowledge comes in. That's where they're putting out the effort. And then they just get on and talk about it. We just bombed Iran last night. So, that's a great topic. But, that's kind of a big topic because it might lead to war. And it might be getting views in about a month. But 6 months down the line, 7 months down the line, that's a dead video. If you talk about, something that happened in Congress this week, they're on vacation, no one cares. In 2 days from now, that's a dead video. Now, tech is sort of that way because when you talk about something in tech, like the DJI Pocket I'm always promoting to everyone because I think it's a great camera, I'm going to tell you all about it and I'm going to give you a video on it. But this camera is going to be replaced in a year. And then with the Pocket 4 or 5 or whatever's coming up next. And so any video you made about the Pocket 1 or 2 a couple years back, it's a dead video for the most part. Sure, the occasional person that still has one pulls it out and maybe wants to learn more about it. Your video might be relevant to them, but not mass appeal. It's almost a dead video. Now, how-to videos are kind of a mixed bag. It depends on what you're talking about, what your audience is going to be. So that one goes so many different ways. And to a degree, it's evergreen and it's topical because you're talking about how to do something. And again, if it's tech, if you're how to do this in tech, like I have this nice little Rode Podcaster Pro thing here, which runs all my audio through it, I might show you how to do that. Now, this thing's still relevant, even though it's like 4 years old, and there's people still going to be watching it. Obviously, not like they did in the beginning, but it's also got a shelf life, a little bit longer of a shelf life, but it's got a shelf life. If you teach people how to do clean the filters on their air conditioning. Now, that one, again, it's a how-to. And I should tell you one thing about how-tos. How-to is one of the most searched things on YouTube. And what follows the how-to part depends on what you're talking about, if you're going to get the views. So if it's something like that's going to be around for a long time, a certain type of dishwasher, a refrigerator, how you put sprinklers in, that's a how-to, and it's sort of evergreen and sort of not topical, but tech. I don't know. It's hard to explain. How-to is a little different. And depending on what you're talking about, it's going to be your audience. What's your audience? Are you talking about the new game system coming out? Obviously, it's going to be kids. Are you talking about the air conditioning or the refrigerator or how to fix your car? It's going to be another audience that's a little bit older. So I'm going to stay out of that one because it's too many variables in it. But I will tell you, if you've got how-to in your video, you're probably going to get more views. It's just a fact. Now, let's talk about evergreen video. Evergreen is what I do, which is World According to Briggs. I do a video about North Carolina. Let's say it was 5 years ago. I'm still getting views right now. Not as many as I did, obviously, the first, let's say, 3 months, but I'm still getting some views. I have videos I did 6 years ago that still probably get me at least $10 a month, $20 a month. I know there's one that's just been killing it for years, and that one's always good for about $200 a month. And I'm talking, this is a 7-year-old video that still gets views to this day. Now, when you've made a whole bunch of those, the money's kind of rolling in, right? So evergreen is about something that people will always be looking for. Let's say you want to do a tour of Washington, D.C., right? You go to all the monuments. You see the cherry blossoms. You see all that stuff. That's evergreen. People are always going to want to see that. Those cruise ships, even though it's travel, it's not topical, but people will always watch your cruise videos. It's evergreen. Back to the how-to, gardening. People are always going to want to know how to garden. That's an evergreen, and it's a how-to. Score. So depending on your subject, it's going to be evergreen, topical, or how-to. That's my opinion. So you got to research all of those things before you get rolling. Now, if you have something in your head that you're already planning on doing or you've already started it, I would suggest doing a mix of, topical, for whatever's going on. Let's say you're doing a gardening channel, right? Maybe you bring up the fact that a certain fertilizer or chemical you use for gardening has been taken off the market because it causes cancer. That's in the news. You should talk about it. It's topical and it's about gardening. Boom. That's a good video that will get you some views. That will probably get you a lot more subscribers than how to, make your marigolds greener, or I know they're multicolored. Sorry. But how to make your marigolds more colorful, things like that. Those things will last forever. Where the one about, let's say, Monsanto getting something recalled, that's going to be popular for a couple months. That's it. So you just have to focus on those things. What am I going to talk about? Is it one of those three: topical, how-to, or evergreen? And, each one of those, like if you list them, they branch out 20 different directions for each one, 50 different directions. What's the subject? What's the type of evergreen you can do? What's the type of how-to you're doing? It just goes through there. So there's plenty of opportunities for you there. This is the next thing I would do. When you've settled on all that, who are you talking to? What is your genre? What are you topical, again, how-to, or evergreen? I feel like I've said that 20 times. Once you figure out those things, now you have to research those subjects, how to fix appliances. Go in there, see what kind of views they're getting, There's a ton of people doing that out there. So, you have a lot of information there for you. First of all, how are they doing it? How are the best channels doing it? I mean, are they just looking at the manual and telling you about it, which sounds really boring to me? Or are they actually pulling out the dishwasher and showing you how to fix it? Or are they giving you the history of Maytag along with the repair thing? There's a lot of things up there. And you got to research that before you make one single video. Okay? Now, I've told this one before, speaking of one single video, don't start your channel with one video. Okay? I would start out of the gates with a minimum 3 videos, right? Put them up that first day. Boom, boom, boom. And then make sure you have one for next week or the next day, whatever you're shooting for, because you're getting a lot of people that are going to look at your channel. If they like it and they find out you have one video, they're probably not going to watch you. If they find out you have 2 or 3 videos, probably going to stay around for more videos and wait to see what's happening. There's 1,000,001 channels out there that have one video on there. And a lot of them that got disillusioned because they didn't get 1,000,000 views on that single video. These are people that didn't do their research, okay? They just thought if they put something up, they have such a dazzling personality or they have such good information that it's going to take the world by storm, right? They're the next Mr. Beast. That's what a lot of people go into this thinking, that they're just going to blow up in 1 week and they're on easy street. Doesn't work that way. I've told you before, it took me a 1.5 years before I made a dime. I mean, I wasn't even monetized for like 9 or 10 months. And at the time, was in a genre that really wasn't oversaturated yet. And it's very searched. So, I kind of slipped in there before it got hot. So it took me 9 months to get monetized. And it was probably another 9 months before I made any good money, let's say, okay, to where I could pay my house payment. That's how I judge when I actually started making money. I had 1 month at about 18 months where I said, there's my mortgage right there. And I think it was my mortgage and my car payment from YouTube, which was mind blowing. Okay. Now, once you've done that, the other thing is you got to remember before you start making those videos, they don't have to be perfect, especially not in the beginning. To a degree, I think people want to see a little unprofessionalism when they're watching you on YouTube. Now, if you're making a Discovery Channel documentary, they want to see something pretty close to perfect, okay? That's what they're expecting. If they go see the latest Planet Earth documentary in the theaters or on, the BBC, they're expecting a whole bunch of professionalism. They're expecting every shot to be in focus. They're expecting everything to be clear. Any text that go up there, they want to make sure it's perfectly lined up like a professional would do. You're not a professional. You'll eventually become a professional. And if you go by just the definition of professional, once you've been paid, you're a professional. I think it's a little bit more than that. Once you have a certain quality level, that's when you're professional. Now, this is kind of just a rant about how to start your channel. And I want to go over these gurus, okay? There's a ton of these YouTube gurus out there, and a lot of them have gotten in trouble because they're kind of given get-rich-quick schemes, okay? And they're telling people that they could make money in 2 months or in less than 6 months, you could be pulling in 6 figures. You could also play the lottery, and your chances of hitting each one of them for hundreds of thousands of dollars are about the same, okay? Nobody makes $100,000 in 3 months. If it does, it's a fluke, okay? They're going to tell you they did, and they're going to give you all kinds of lame examples, and they're going to show you things like we talked about on a previous video about how they'll show you how much money they made. Well, they probably switched over their analytics, the YouTube Studio, to show their money in, let's say, Colombian dollars, okay? Or pesos, which uses the dollar sign. I think I got that correct. It was something like that. I looked up the other day. So that's what I learned a lot of them did, because I was looking going, wait, this guy's got 8 videos up and he's making $18,000 a month? That doesn't make sense, right? And I finally figured out, someone actually mentioned it when they were exposing one of these gurus, that that's all he's doing. And I was like, okay. So I look back at that video, he made $75, but it looks like 18,000 in these pesos or something like that. So the gurus are going to tell you a bunch of crap. And one thing to keep in mind, If it's that easy and they've been doing it, why are they telling you about it? Why aren't they making more videos for those channels? That should be their full-time job. If you're making $18,000 a month on a single video, on a single channel, and then they always tell you they have like 3 or 4 channels, they should be working on those 3 or 4 channels to put out videos every other day or something like that. Because $18,000 times 5 is a whole lot of money every single month. And so that tells me they're not. And nobody's just such a nice person that they want to share their knowledge because they want to help you. They want to help you. They want you to watch that video and then they want you to buy their course. Now, if it's a guru and they're telling you how easy it's going to be and you're going to be a millionaire, and they give you all those 1990s, infomercial lines, and it just seems like an infomercial or a used car salesman type thing, just look for that, okay? Because if it's that easy, they'd be doing it full time and not telling you about it. That's how it is. What they usually do is take examples of people that are 6 or 7 years down the line and making that type of money, or maybe 4 years down the line, they're making that type of money and they're using that as an example. And they make it sound like this person just started uploading videos, okay? And all of a sudden he's making all this money. And it doesn't make sense. One of the most popular things, or I guess when you look up these guys, right? And I'm not going to use their names because I don't feel like getting into all that drama and stuff like that. But if you type in YouTube automation, right? Type it in right now, you're going to see a bunch of guys teaching you how to do it. These are the gurus I'm telling you about. Type their name in there and you're going to find a whole bunch of other videos of people exposing them, okay? All they're doing is mining the miners. Okay, now that's a saying that goes back, and I think I mentioned this the other day, but I'm going to say it again. Back in the gold rush days of Alaska and even San Francisco to a degree, all these people came from all around the world to find their riches, to find their fortune by mining gold, okay? Well, when they get there, they got to buy equipment. So they buy overpriced equipment to help them on their journey of, getting all that gold. And they're going to be millionaires by the end of the month. They all start that, and these guys will tell them about it. They'll even sell them maps to the best locations they can go to. That was a big thing back then. And then they get there and it's just sand or it's just rock, rock and dirt, and get attacked by a grizzly bear. So they were mining the miners. And when I say miners, I'm talking about guys trying to get stuff out of the ground, not elementary school kids. I said that one day, mining the miners. Oh, dude, what are you talking about? Oh, okay. Had to explain the gold rush to this dude. So the gurus are going to lead you astray. There are a ton of reliable YouTube sources out there that may sell, that may sell you a program. I just bit the crap out of my tongue. They may sell you a program, but in reality, most of their stuff is already there. And they're not telling you how, they're not comparing, they're not going to show you other channels most of the time and how easy it is. That's not their thing. Roberto Bleck's perfect example. Nothing but information on how to grow on YouTube and just in the social media and this whole content creation thing. He's there to show you. He does have a course. I've not bought it. I've heard it's good. So he's a legit one. You also have books out there that you could buy on YouTube strategy. They kind of have a shelf life, even though they do update them. Things change so quick on YouTube. Get a book when it first comes out, but if it's 5 years old, I don't think I'd buy it. Think Media. Think Media is a pretty good one. And I watched him for years. Then occasionally they throw in religious stuff on there, and I don't like that. I went to private Catholic school when I was a kid, and they just force-fed me religion. So now when someone mentions it, I kind of recoil. But Think Media is a really great source for how to grow your YouTube channel. And I don't know if they sell a course or not, but anything you need to find out is probably going to be on those channels or on some other channels. You can learn how to do YouTube on YouTube. I mean, here I am. I'm teaching you how to do it. I'm not trying to sell you a course. I'm not going to sell you a book. I don't think I ever will. It's not what I'm going to do. I want it all here on YouTube. So you could learn for free or, whatever. You might have YouTube Premium, so technically it's not free, but you get what I'm saying. You might have to watch an ad. Woo-hoo. You're not dishing out, $1,500 for a session, a one-on-one session for me. That's another thing. They try and sell you video things for $1,500 and they're going to teach you YouTube automation, or they're going to send you a PDF to show you the whole thing. That PDF costs $500. It's always something like that. Watch where you get your information. In this video, I'm going to list a whole bunch of resources I think are legit, and you could just click on those channels and learn from them. These are the same guys I learned from: Roberto Blake, Daryl Eves, Think Media. There's Tim Schmoyer back in the day. I don't think he makes videos anymore. There's a couple other ones that I watched, and I still watch, because this is a changing platform. All social media is. It's changing all the time. So you got to have to stay abreast of things. And that's what you do if you want to make this your living. Okay? Don't make drastic changes off of those things too much. Wait till you have an idea what's going on. Some of those other channels, they tell you to do this, make sure you click this so you could get 10 times the views. Okay? You want 10 times the views? Play YouTube's game. Okay? There's 4 ways you could attract an audience. Make a long form video, make a short, do a live stream, do community posts. Okay, they used to have stories too, which I really liked, but they got rid of it. I guess not everyone was using it, but I didn't have 1 million subscribers at the time, but I realized every time I put up a story, I was getting like 50 to 100 subscribers off the story alone. Story was only staying up for 3 days, so that was good return on my time. So upload your videos, upload shorts, do live streams, do community posts. Now, not everyone likes live streams. Great. Take that one out of there. You got community posts, shorts, and long form video. Okay? People don't like shorts. Take those out and now use the other 3: live stream or video, live stream, and community posts. Community posts is a big deal, and YouTube's really leaning into it. So I would do some research on that one about community posts. It used to be just you could put something up like a Twitter thing, but now they're changing it to where your audience can actually, subscribers can actually put posts on your channel. So it's almost like your YouTube channel is going to have its own Twitter thing or something like that. I'm getting the hiccups. So follow those things. I know this was a little jumbled mess, but I just had some thoughts in my head about growing your channel, and I thought I'd share them with you. So we've learned a lot today, but the last thing I want to leave you with is, if you want to grow faster than the basic person, make sure you're doing 3 of the 4 things that'll get you an audience: making videos, live stream shorts, or community posts. Okay? Community posts are easy. If you've ever done Facebook or Twitter, it's pretty basic. I think I saw a video the other day about it. I'll put a link for that down there in the description area below. As always, it is a true joy to talk to all of you. I'm glad you're here. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Let me know in the comment section what subjects you'd like me to rant about next. All right, see you in the next video, everyone.